Welcome, everyone. Happy Thursday. I'm the Grace Strega, and I'm here to give you your daily collective read for today, Thursday, February 6th, 2025. What do we have coming through in the cards for today? Can I please have the first two cards in our 5 card spread? First two cards we are starting our day off with today. Yep, I am so not surprised to see these two cards. So here's the thing, and it's interesting too, because I was actually, before we started the podcast, I was actually trying to understand why this energy feels so slippery right now. And one of the things that we're seeing is that Jupiter has gone direct. So one of the things that we experience when Jupiter is in retrograde is that things that minor things feel like they take, like, it's like the smallest thing feels like it's heavy lifting. Like nothing is easy. Like things that should be like the simplest thing ever suddenly become like energetically impossible, right? And so we've had that moment. And so what often happens when we're in these Jupiter retrograde places is we get used to, it's like strength building, because we get used to putting more force on things. And now it's like the minute that Jupiter goes direct, it's like suddenly the force that you're putting, it's like the door that you're like leaning on, and then the door just like the door that was locked, that then that's just open. So you're like putting the same force on it, and suddenly you're on the floor, right? It's like, it's a lot of that type of energy. So don't be so forceful right now. Ease up, ease up. Okay. You gotta go easily, because things that may have required more effort now may be feeling more effortless. And a lot of it is like, I keep on hearing the Jupiter going direct, like suddenly like the wheels feel like they're greased, but they're not greased. They're just going back to normal. It's like things are like moving back at the normal pace. So that's why I'm saying, like, be very conscientious, because this is where I'm seeing that it's like you gotta be careful right now. And I don't mean that in like, I mean that because we've got Uranus and Taurus. So it's like that, and we've got a Venus in retrograde. So it's like everything is about heightened sensitivity and amplified frustration, right? It's a lot of this type of work that we're experiencing. And I'm going to tell you right now, this can be very helpful. This can be very beautiful. We were talking about this before we started today's reading. Moving towards this Leo full moon in the midst of a Mars retrograde, in the midst of the Venus retrograde that's starting to show itself. The space of healing things from a place of vulnerability is profound right now. It's vast. It's like the well of compassion that's like opening up to a certain extent, but it requires us to be able to navigate things with compassion. At the same time, and this is what I want you to be conscientious about, if you're approaching this more from the place of the ego, that same well of compassion could create a space of hurt feelings, right? It can create a lot of that volatility. It can create a lot. I keep on saying that, like, I feel like I see a space of profound apologies that may be happening right now, coming towards this Leo full moon, like deep, authentic embraces. But I also see a lot of this same, like that same density can potentially bring forth a lot of that woe is me feeling, right? A lot of that moment, because I'm telling you right now, that like the Venus in retrograde with the Leo full moon, it's like that sharp light that feels like it's directed to you. So make sure that you're navigating right now with compassion, right? Everybody's feeling it. Everyone's getting really hard on themselves. We remember, you are not a mess. You are a work in progress. We're doing the best that we can every day, right? And you are getting stronger every day. For a lot of this energy, like this is the combination for a lot of the energy in separation right now. I keep on seeing that there's something about I keep on hearing the gentle force that is necessary to move one into their manifestations, right? Because and this is why I keep on hearing there's something beautiful or profound that's coming or coming through as it relates to Scorpio or Pluto moving out of Capricorn and moving into Aquarius, right? Because I just keep on seeing that there's a lot of the energy right now in separation, having a direct conversation with their higher self and working in that space in terms of saying, I'm not ready to let go of something, right? I'm honoring the space of how I feel and almost asking. We were talking yesterday about the conversation, looking to the higher self and saying, when do I stop feeling like this? And what does the higher self say? My love, we never stop feeling like this. A good, healthy journey is not one that brings forth a lack of feeling. We talked about this. This was the message that was coming through during that alignment, right? A good manifestation is not one that requires you to disassociate in the movement towards it. It's that space of feeling more, of finding oneself, right? So we see even now that working through that context, feeling that frustration. This is how we heal, saying, I feel things that I don't want to feel, right? We rage against them. We want to push them out of ourselves, right? I told you a lot of that, like a lot of that force of like Uranus and Taurus, like just get this away from me, right? But what does the Leo energy do? When we push out, it says, come here, right? That the solution isn't pushing back, but it's working in that space of embracing. Because we don't release things, we embrace them. And when we embrace them, we recognize that they are a part of ourselves and we honor them, right? So a lot of this force right now, I just keep on seeing that this is the energy that says, I'm carrying something forward with me. And this is how Scorpio is helping the energy and separation to heal. Because what is Scorpio? Like, it's like, I keep on hearing Scorpio is entering the chat for the energy that's in separation. Because Scorpio is sitting down with like the self and the higher self and saying, are you holding on to it because it was ideal? Or are you holding on to it because you're mourning the fact that it never was, right? And when the moment comes that we identify and say, I'm holding, and this is why I see that this could be different depending on the journeys of the energy and separation, right? Because that answer to that question is guiding them forward as it relates to the direction that they're trying to move towards. Because we see even now that if the answer is it never reached that point, what's the higher self saying? It's not your manifestation, right? We talked about this. This was the journey that we were navigating as it relates to the fact that when we're moving towards those spaces, and this is what's brought a lot of energy into out of separation into divine union right now. When we insist, right? When we insist, the universe, what does the universe say? It says, if you insist, right? When we insist upon things, we sometimes cannot see. So I just keep on seeing that for a lot of that energy, that's the scorpionic force that's basically saying to the energy in separation, are you holding on to something because it was everything that you desired it to be? Or are you holding on to it because you desired it to change? Are you holding on to it because you desired it to change? Because that might not necessarily be your manifestation if you never saw the manifestation reflected in what it is that you desire. Walk this way, come with me, right? That's what the higher self is saying. Let me show you, let me show you, right? And that's why I keep on seeing that for a lot of that energy and separation, they're finding Aries is ahead of them, right? They're saying like all you need is the courage. The higher self's almost saying to the energy and separation, all you need is the courage to allow me to show you, right? Come with me, right? And that's beautiful, but it's painful because that's a lot of that energy. I keep on hearing the energy in separation saying, I'm not ready to let go. And the higher self is saying, yes, you are. You're take all the time you need, right? The higher self that loves us never rushes us through our processes. They understand that that's a journey that we're like, anytime you're ready, it's available to you. While for masculine and feminine energy that is coming into divine union, I just keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy coming into divine union right now, working in that context, recognizing and understanding that's why I hear a lot. I feel like that energy, I'm going to tell you right now, I feel like a lot of that energy coming into divine union right now is feeling very vulnerable and feeling very sensitive because it feels to me like there's something very heavy that's happening in relationality to their own path work, being able to see something that we couldn't see before. I told you, I am cringe, but now I'm free. Looking back on the self and cringing, that's because they're looking back and they're seeing Aries in the past, right? When we arrive, like the beautiful thing about Aries is Aries does not believe there's no such thing as trying or failing to Aries energy. Like failing is just how many times it took you to succeed. So that's why I keep on seeing that this is how a lot of the energy coming into divine union is healing their inner child, because they're showing compassion to the past version of self and seeing all the places that they were trying to move towards what they have effectively moved, like found. And when we do that, we celebrate and we honor that journey. We don't look at the past and say, I just forget the past on a healthy healing journey. We look at the past and say, you beautiful thing, you're the legs that got me here. Like those attempts, like that work, that try and do. This is how we got to where we are. I love you, right? And so a lot of that energy here, this is that energy finding the courage of the present by being able to look at the past with a sense of grace and compassion. While we find a lot of the energy right now deep within divine union, this is, I'm going to tell you right now, if you're in deep within divine union right now and you're feeling a little bit on the ropes, if you're feeling at your wit's end, if you're feeling really frustrated at yourself, I'm going to tell you right now, stop it. Cut it out. Cut it out right this minute. Now is not the time to get all woe is me about things. I'm telling you right now, a lot of this energy, it wants that space can be one that we're very hard on ourselves. And that's why I see that for a lot of the energy, finding that Aries energy in the present, this is how that energy has a breakthrough, because this is the energy that says, if this is the energy that says, I can't do it, I'm having those hard, like I'm like, what am I doing wrong, right? Why am I not getting this? Because I see a lot of that energy trying new things and doing things in different ways. What is the energy of the counterpart saying to one another? Trying, there's no such thing as trying. Trying is a comparative word that we give as it relates to a standard that we're holding ourselves to, right? You're being too hard on yourself. Like, recognize that trying is judging how well you're actively doing something, right? And so that's a lot of that energy that I feel like there's the compassion, because I keep on hearing like, this is, I'm going to say this right now. This is the energy deep within divine union, finding Aries in the counterpart, right? Because when we care about someone and we see them trying and them being hard on themselves and we working in that context, we say, look at them go. Look how beautiful that is. Look at that passion. Look at that commitment, right? These are the aspects and qualities and characteristics that we hold to high esteem within ourselves and that we see clearly in other people. So that ability of holding that space, I just keep on seeing there's a lot of that compassion that comes through, because it almost feels like that force of gentle celebration when we see someone that's being too hard on themselves, wanting to do something that we already feel that they're energetically perfect within, right? It's like the divine journey of self. That is one that one cannot see as you're inhabiting it, because you're always so hard on yourself on the journey of moving towards it, right? Like, this is what we talk about when we talk about ascension, or this is what we talk about when we talk about like that climb or working in that space of trying to find the betterment of ourselves. Center card in our 5-card spread for today is, we've got here our Hangman in its reversal, and this is wild. I'm just going to check. Am I correct? Yep. Oh, man. Guys, so go check out yesterday's reading. This is the same card. This is the same card that we saw yesterday. This is the same card. Listen, look at this. There's a lot of cards in this deck, my friends. See all these cards? That's a lot of cards. Same card. Okay, do the math. Same card, same position, same direction, right? So that is some big, so I'm going to tell you even now, like, there's a lot of energy that's shifting right now. There's a lot of energy. Like, I see the Hangman in its reversal, and it says that there's a lot of energy shifting, but it feels like it, And this is why I'm going to say, like, it feels like a positive shift. It feels like something that is coming from a space of compassion. It's coming from a place of, like, and I'll tell you right now, like, a lot of this Leo full moon, like, working in that space, it's I'm sorry, I'm reading it across the frequencies. For the energy deep within divine union, this type of energy here, this is why when we experience something like this, it is the most difficult for the energy deep within divine union, because it's not so much about a shift so much as it is an expansion point. It's requiring that feeling of trying to learn how to do something new, right? Trying to, I keep on saying, like, trying to spread your wings to a certain extent, right? Like, working in that space, we often get, like, and this is like, we often get frustrated, right? We get frustrated when we're trying to learn how to do something. And that's why I said, even now, with the amplification of Uranus and Taurus and a lot of this, like, Mars retrograde, it feels very much like a lot of that focus can be directed upon frustration at the self, being mad at the self that one doesn't feel like you're grasping things fast enough, or being mad at the self that one doesn't feel like you're learning quick enough, right? Like, a lot of this energy of feeling the frustration of feeling like you can't keep pace with your own expectations. So what are the counterparts saying to one another as they experience this? I'm going to tell you right now, energy like this, very easy to get triggered, right? I can see I told you, a lot of room for apology right now, taking a lot of breaks, because when we're frustrated, and especially like the Uranus and Taurus, like the fuse becomes like this, it's very easy to project that frustration in those around us. But when we're mindful of it, right? When we're conscientious of it, we immediately address the difference between the frustration we feel towards the self versus the frustration that we project out to others. This is one of the amplification points that we understand that happens when we're on a healing journey. Like, I hate to break it to you, it's like when you're on a good healing journey, it's not that you stop feeling frustrated. You just stop taking it out on everybody around you, right? Like, you just stop projecting it outwards. Like, it's not that you don't feel it. It's just that you work through that, right? You channel it into something that feels energetically productive. Now, and that's why I keep on seeing, like, it's giving me a lot of this, like, easy tiger kind of energy, right? Like, working in that space of, like, and this is what I mean about, like, that Jupiter going direct. It's like that force of being like, and then being like, calm down, take a step back, go slower. You can't force a breakthrough, because, again, and this is us coming out of Aquarian energy, when you're working on something and you take a break, it's percolating. You haven't stopped working on it. You're putting it on the back burner, right? So don't get frustrated right now. If you're getting frustrated at something, go take a walk, chill out, put it on the back burner. It'll come to you, right? That solution will come to you. That way of articulating on something will come to you. But you can't, you can't force a breakthrough. And often when you force a breakthrough, you end up just like projecting out. And I'm telling you right now, like, a little bit of this slipperiness, like this extra force, something like, the one thing I keep seeing right now is hurdles around putting like, we get really, like, Jupiter in retrograde creates this, like, strength training exercise, because suddenly the smallest thing feels like it's a Herculean task that we have to do, right? But then suddenly Jupiter goes direct, and the thing that you were putting a lot of force on is like smooth as silk, because suddenly you don't realize that you've gotten stronger. And it's like you don't know your own strength. Okay? So be mindful of that right now. While for masculine and feminine energy coming into divine union, this is why I see this energy. Like, this energy is already deep in Leo. Man, I don't even want to talk. I don't even want to talk. Like, I don't even want to talk to, like, the energy coming into divine union right now. Because this, I mean, I don't mean this in a negative way, but, like, the thing about it is, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be really, I don't mean this in a mean way to the energy coming into divine union. Make sure that your ego's in check. Okay? Make sure that your ego is in check, because I just see this energy like oh, like going like this, like, It's a lot of this, like, it's a lot of this, it's like a lot of this work in the space of, like, I want to say, like feeling like you've had like a massive download or seeing something in a way. The journey is not one, we are never perfect. There are sometimes moments though that we feel like we're perfect. I feel like, and I feel like, I think I told you. Okay, so here's the thing, and this is what I keep on seeing. The energy coming into divine union is both in Leo and Libra, right? So it's funny because, and the reason I'm laughing at it is because that type of energy is like, everything's perfect, nobody move. Like, everything's perfect, no, like, I like, almost like I told you, I don't, my hands are full, I don't know what to do with my hands. Like worried about like losing an energetic feeling is what I see that's happening here, because the energy is like, what happened? Like, it's like, it's just like, it feels very, like, it feels very big hug, right? But it also feels like, it's like, it's funny because it's like big hug, the struggle is real kind of energy at the same time. It's like moving vastly between that. While for masculine and feminine energy that is in separation, I just keep on seeing that for a lot of this energy in separation, very much more similar to what we see for the energy deep within divine union, right? I see some energy now in separation going through the same journey, and this is a good sign. There's a lot of balance right now across the frequencies, because we've got a lot of the work that we see that the energy deep within divine union is navigating at the same time as the energy in separation. So I need to check what's going on with Libra, because there's a lot of balance here. The fact that we see the energy deep within and the energy in separation, you can't force a breakthrough. I see this energy going, I can't let go of this. I have to embrace it. I hate embracing this. I don't want to embrace this. I know I have to embrace it. Like I see the energy going, ugh, like getting like mad at the self in the process, right? I'm going to say it like this. We embrace, and this is why it feels a little bit like shadow work right now. I kept on telling you, this is warrior partnerships that are coming through right now during this Mars retrograde, right? We feel new things, right? We stop feeling things when we feel new things. And I keep on seeing this energy that says, I don't need to close my heart off. I don't need to stop feeling things. I need to allow myself to open to the possibility of something more, right? So that's why I see even now, like, a lot of that energy, like letting out a sigh and a sob, because that's the energy that says, I don't want to let go. And even as they're saying it, their heart is beginning to expand, right? It's already in that space of like coming into embracing the fact that what is for them is ahead of them and not behind them. Fourth and fifth cards in our 5-card spread for today. What do we got here? We've got our 3 of Pentacles in its upright, in combination with our 5 of Swords in its upright. Now, if this card looks familiar, it is because this was the card that we closed our reading off with yesterday. We had this card in its reversal. So I see, like, I keep on seeing there's some energy in separation that is recognizing that the past always feels, there is no closure. There's no closure. Healthy healing is not a space where we get closure. It's not about closure. It's about we get closure by opening ourselves up to new opportunities, by opening ourselves up to new possibilities, right? Often, like, I keep on getting this message that we navigate, right? When we go, who on earth goes back to something to close it, right? No, you go back to something, you end up opening it up again, right? Like, that's the thing about it. And I can see a lot of that energy saying, I want closure. And what they're really like, this is where Scorpio is helping this energy going. Do you want closure? Or are you trying to force something to be something that it was not? Right? Are you in a space like, this is the thing? Like, we get fixated on the past. We settle down. We hunker down in the past, right? We go on strike in the past. We go, heck no, I'm not going. Right? And the universe says, if you insist, you can, this, our higher self, it loves us, goes, if you want to sit there, you can sit there, right? But it isn't about, and this is where Scorpio, I feel like I keep on seeing Scorpio sitting down with the energy and separation going, is sitting in the past changing it, right? Does dwelling in the past change the past? Or does it just block the the ability to move forward, right? And so everything I keep seeing about this right now has a lot to do with that energy and separation, honoring the space, right? Honoring the space of looking back on something and saying, that did not go the way I desired it would. That did not turn out the way I hoped and anticipated. I would longed for my manifestation to come through that place. And it is a form, and I'll tell you right now, we have formative moments when we build our hopes and aspirations towards circumstances that don't come to fruition. This is what we call maturity, right? This is what we call healing, right? And this is the energy that says, I'm not going to forget about that because it was important, because something about when we recognize those places of things that we did not receive, they become lessons as to what we need. I'm going to say that again. When we experience circumstances or situations that we don't want to leave because we did not find what we were looking for, we come to better understand what we need in the process. A healthy manifestation is not what you attain. A healthy manifestation is understanding the self in the process of moving towards it. So I just keep on seeing that a lot of that energy says it's not the job to let go of that, but to honor that journey, to understand what one was seeking, right? And in the moment that we understand why we're holding on to something, and if it's a moment that we say, I'm holding on to something because I wanted something from it and I did not find it there, it becomes a sacred wound, right? This is where wisdom comes through, because the understanding of what we need in what we did not receive helps us come into better understanding of ourselves in the process. And so I keep on seeing that a lot of that energy says that they are not the whole of that wound, right? But we honor a wound by being gentle with it and letting others know about it as we proceed forward. While for masculine and feminine energy that is coming into divine union, this is the energy that feels that point of alignment, right? And this is, again, I keep on seeing that this is the energy that doesn't come into divine union and say, yeah, it's great, I'm in divine union. I don't care about anyone. I don't care about anything that happened before this. This is all that matters. That's not healthy. That's not healing. This is the energy that says, I honor the journey of all of the doors that I reached for that were closed, because this is the story of the door that was open to me. This was the story of finding that manifestation, of finding that alignment, that incredible conjunction of another who shares the same desires as me and may have had a different journey. But our lessons have brought us here. And that is why a lot of that energy coming into divine union, what do they say? I didn't expect to be here, but I'm glad to have found myself here, right? The serendipity of delight in moving towards a manifestation that is that perpetual surprise between asking the universe what it is that you seek and saying, this is what's important to me, show me the rest. While for masculine and feminine energy, deep within divine union right now, a lot of this work, in separation, like deep within divine union, this is a lot, like I keep on saying in separation and in divine union, because you can see here that those energies are very balanced right now. There's something going on with Libra I have to check out after we get out of this. But a lot of that work that we're seeing, this is the energy that says, I can see the energy trying to absorb the words of the counterpart, right? I need to be gentler on myself. I'm going to try really hard to be gentler on myself. I'm actually already doing that. I see the energy deep within divine unity going, I'm going to be gentle and hard. You're not even going to recognize me. I'm going to be so gentle with myself. Like that, like even in that space, like it's hard to be gentle. It's hard to be gentle when we want to go hard, right? It's a lot of, because I told you Jupiter's gone direct. So it's like, like, it's like, and that's the only thing. It's like the Jupiter direct with the Uranus and Taurus. It's like, it's hard because it's like you feel it's a lot of that, like feeling like you are the elephant in the room. Like there's a lot of that energetic force. And I told you, like, it's a lot of, especially because, and this is the only thing about it, I'm going to keep warning you guys about it. It's the combination of the Venus in retrograde with the Leo full moon. It's like, is it me? Am I the problem? Am I like, it's a lot, like, it's a lot of that. And continuing to get clarification between our Strength card in its reversal in combination with our Four of Pentacles in its reversal. One card to clarify, please. Clarification coming through right now. Yeah, like, and this is the thing. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear anybody right now with none of this woe is me stuff. I don't want to hear any of it. And I mean this like, I mean this with all the love in my heart. Because I'm telling you right now, the energy, the tendency right now to like feel sorry for the self, like to come into that space of being like, I am a monster. Like, you know what I mean? Like a lot of this, like, I'm just telling you, man, I'm just warning you right now. And you might, things might get really dramatic, especially if someone's around you right now who's navigating this more from the egoic space, right? Like, we are all doing the best that we can, right? Like we don't get into that space. Like this is like sweeping down the stairs in a cape kind of energy, right? This is like Phantom of the Opera kind of energy. This is like, don't look at me. Like it's that type of energy. Okay. Baby, calm down, all right? Because it's the vibe right now. So if you're feeling like this, I want you to be compassionate to yourself. You are beautiful, all right? I want you to remember, let these flaws become facets, right? This is the journey that we find ourselves on. But sometimes it's a little bit harder to feel like that, especially when there are alignments that, you know, make it all of the, like, energetic indulgences is the best thing I like to describe it as. Certain periods of time, it feels very indulging. It feels good. We've talked a lot about this. What were the energetic indulgences we saw over the last 3 cycles, right? We saw a lot of that. I told you, the energetic indulgence that we saw in the Cancer full moon was it felt really good to do something awful and say, it's for my healing journey, right? Yeah. The energetic indulgence that we saw for the Aquarius full moon is, I'm just going to disappear. It's okay. The spaceships are going to come fix this. I don't have to do anything. I just need to wait, right? Like, yeah, that's the energetic indulgence of a bunch of Aquarian energy with Pisces everywhere, right? Like, Calgon, take me away. But this indulgence, right? This indulgence is the one that says it feels so good to feel like you are the outcast. It feels so good when it feels good when we can dwell in feeling like the weight of there's an indulgence here that we just need to be conscientious about, because it's real lion and winter kind of vibes, man. All right. So be compassionate, because this same energy is beautiful in terms of having open, intimate conversations, healing rifts, letting that emotion guide us in profound ways in healing wounds of the heart space. But just as easily, it could come into that space of like navigating the super, something like the super hurt feelings, right? So just be conscientious about that. Continuing to get it's like, and I mean this with all the love, and I'm saying this to everybody, right? Everybody listen, check your ego. just check your ego, and not to the space, like, but it's not so much, when I say check your ego, it actually means don't get too hard on yourself, right? Don't get hard on the self in the space of feeling like everything is happening to you. You know, build in that context of making sure that you're looking at things balanced. Continuing to get clarification here between our Four of Pentacles in its reversal in combination with Hangman in its upright. One card to clarify, please. Right? The Justice card in its reversal. So again, and this has to do, I keep on getting some indication it has something to do with Uranus being in Taurus right now. Teeny tiny fuses. The teeniest little fuse. The teeniest. It's like the Princess and the Pea energy. That little tiny thing that doesn't typically bother you. Like nails on the chalkboard. Suddenly it's like that little thing. It's like that little thing. Like it's a lot of that, right? So being able to kind of navigate that space and not feeling energetically triggered, or working in that context of allowing oneself to understand that when we're feeling frustrated, we can focus our energy into spaces and places that matter. We can put that intentionality towards things that feel like they amplify, they feel like they energetically heal, right? A lot of potential breakthrough energy here, but it requires, like I keep on seeing, like this is the type of energy where there's a lot of compassion to be found, so long as you're checking your ego at the door, right? And I say that, and I know what's interesting about that is, checking the ego at the door in terms of not feeling hard on yourself, right? Not feeling like in that space of like working through something. For a lot of the energy in separation right now, I feel like a lot of that, like I keep on seeing that a lot of that release, as it were, is recognizing and understanding I keep on hearing a lot of energy in separation, grieving over something and looking at something and saying, it did not turn out the way that I hoped or intended, or it did not feel the way that I aspired it to, right? And that's why I keep on seeing that, like the universe is almost saying to the energy in separation, if it didn't feel that way, was that for you, or is what you're seeking ahead of you, right? Coming into that space is how we effectively heal. And it's hard, right? Like a lot, I can see even now, like a lot of that energy, like I see the energy working through something and saying, I didn't want to feel this way. I didn't want this, right? But this is often like those moments or those modalities, like that space. This is why we call them those sacred wound moments, because we don't look at them and we don't say, I never let go of that, right? like what? Like we recognize that they become foundational. We recognize that they become formative, right? Because there's some moments that we say, I can see something in the past that I did and I would desire to do better, right? A formative moment, something that profoundly changes us beyond our journey forward. Or those moments of saying, I was not okay with that. I set my pathwork in ensuring that that would never happen again, right? The wounds that we carry form the character of the self, right? They become to a certain extent the energetic pillars of the self. Because those moments, we don't say, I need to let go of it, I just need to forget it. We don't need to forget it. We hold them tightly and we say, if I'm holding on to something, it is because there's something there that it is trying to tell me that is of the utmost importance, right? And that's a way that we say we don't hold on to it and just gravitate and focus on it and stay so focused on it that we don't move forward. We carry it with us as we continue on our journeys. While for masculine and feminine coming into divine union, I just see a lot of this energy looking back in the past like a blooper reel. Like I just see a lot of this. This is why it feels a little bit lighter right now for the energy coming into divine union, because I can see that energy going, God, like bless that. Look at that. Look at that is the story of how hard I was trying. And when we see those moments, right? When we see those moments, we have understanding. All of those spaces that we tried for something and we did not receive it. Like this is why I keep on saying that this is the energy that's finding Aries in the past. Because I almost hear this energy like actively weeping for that past version of self, going, look at them go. Look at them trying. Oh, look at, oh man, right? Like we look at that and we go, oh, because we understand. And then when we understand, we see the past version of self and we want to weep for joy because that there it is. There's that inner child that got me here. But boy, they made some mistakes along the way, right? And we love those mistakes. I mean, again, it doesn't mean that we're perfect, but we honor them because all of those, like bless those lessons that brought me to where I am today, right? We hold them in a space of grace. While for masculine and feminine energy, deep within divine union, a lot of this work that we're seeing deep within divine union is amplified and articulated, but again, much like the energy we see in separation, which is I keep on seeing this energy like trying to like bonk their head into a wall, trying to like force breakthroughs, trying to like learn how to do something in a way that they haven't before, right? It's giving me training wheels. Like it almost feels like energy deep within divine union, intentionally putting training wheels on things. But like this is the thing. When we're learning how to do something, like what do we want to do when it takes something? Oh, I'm never doing this again, right? Like, and we handle ourselves with love and compassion. And I keep on seeing that this is the energy that is finding Aries in the present, and via the counterpart that says, keep trying, don't get frustrated. Again, right? Next time it'll be better, right? like. Continuing to get clarification between our hangman in its upright in combination with our 3 of Pentacles in its upright. Can I get one card to clarify, please? Clarification coming through right now with, I like it, Queen of Wands in its upright. So this is interesting here. We've got masculine and feminine, like navigating this in different ways, okay? Masculine right now, I just keep on seeing that there's a lot of the work that I'm seeing right now in relationality to the masculine energy. In, how do I explain this best? This is like very profound for masculine energy right now, because I just keep on seeing that for a lot of the masculine energy, it's giving me the energy of like perpetual student, learning to do something in a way that you haven't before. Like I see a lot of that energy deep within divine union. And I'm going to tell you, this has a lot to do with that profound journey work that we're seeing that's happening right now for in the energy and separation. Because I keep on seeing that there's a lot of the masculine energy deep within divine union working through the context of finding their authentic self. And a lot of it, again, feels like working in like this is just your daily reminder. Your ego is there to protect you, but they're like a buddy, and you gotta like sometimes like your buddy wants to be protective, right? And it's like it comes in that it gets in the way of feeling like that's why I keep on seeing for a lot of that energy of the masculine deep within divine union, I keep on seeing that this is the energy that's trying to embrace the ego so that it doesn't interfere with their ability to be, their ability to see and to be seen is what I'm hearing. While for a lot of the energy of feminine, bearing in mind this is not based on gender, but what one feels most aligned to, this feels very similar for feminine energy, but I see feminine energy. I keep on getting, this is feminine energy that's honoring their energetic standards. They're communicating upon their passion. I keep on seeing that this is feminine trying to find a common thread in the self, right? Trying to like work in that context of taking disparate things and unifying them, right? And so both of these energies right now, deep within divine union, I can see the fact that they're honoring each other because they're giving one another a little bit of space, because they're recognizing that the work that they're doing requires different modalities. We've been seeing this for a while now. I need to get to the bottom as to why this has been going on for such a long period of time. But there's something here that we're seeing even there. Like there's adaptability. There's adaptability that's occurring right now. I think it's this Aquarian energy. It's adaptability. But for masculine, it's about adaptability as to how one perceives the self, like trying to defy definition, while feminine is more in the context of trying to find definition. Okay? Like that's what's interesting about it. Masculine's in the space of trying to defy definition, and feminine is in the space of trying to define, like trying to be definitive. While for masculine and feminine coming into divine union, something that I just keep seeing here has a lot to do with, like, this is the breakthrough point. Like, this is the breakthrough point that we were recognizing and understanding as it relates to feeling the weight of where one finds himself on the journey, right? Because I feel like masculine's looking back on the past and going, oh my gosh, that's cringeworthy how hard I was trying to be someone I was not, right? When I try to be someone to the feminine, I keep on hearing masculine saying, coming into divine union, the lesson that's coming through is when I try to be something for the feminine, I am never further away from the feminine at that moment, right? Because my ability, and this is a masculine, like recognizing that the ability of masculine to understand the desire of feminine will often get in the way of masculine building relationship with feminine, because masculine works so hard to try to be what the feminine aspires them to be that they're never seen by the feminine. Right? And so this is a masculine that recognizes and says, feminine does not aspire for me to be anything beyond all that I am. And the feminine that is for me will find those flaws and see them as facets. Right? So there's a lot of that journey, which is like understanding how hard it is when you want to be yourself, but you're trying to impress another, right? Well, like, I'm not surprised to see these lessons right now with the Venus in retrograde and the Leo in Leo full moon. While for feminine, this has the feminine in that space of appreciating their own journey, because this is the feminine that says, I don't try to be what the masculine desires. I don't need to become someone other than I am to be worthy of love. I need to be the person that I am, because being the person that I am will protect me from those that are not for me, right? That rejection is like, if I'm being my authentic self and another it rejects me in that space, that is myself protecting me from those that are not for me. While for a lot of this energy right now, this is the energy and separation, having those conversations with the higher self. So this is a lot of that energy. Again, seeing Aries that's in the future. And this is why I keep on seeing that this is the energy that's like in direct conversation with their higher self. And I keep hearing, it's so funny because I keep hearing that the energy that's having these conversations with their higher self, I keep on hearing them say, who are you? Are you my higher self, or are you my divine counterpart? And what is the energy saying? Yes. Right? Why would they not be of the same voice? Why would they not be saying the same thing? The answer is yes. Continuing to get clarification between our 3 of Pentacles in combination with our 5 of Swords in its upright. Can I get one card to clarify, please? Clarification coming through right now. All right, I like this. Okay, and this is the only thing I'm going to tell you right now. Here's this energy right now is slippery. The energy right now, I want you to be careful. Why do I want you to be careful? Because I keep on seeing, all right, that there was the Jupiter retrograde creates that, like, everything, the smallest things feel like they take all of this energy to push forward. And so when Jupiter goes direct, like, have you ever put weight on something and then you put too much weight on it and it's like it can't hold the weight, and suddenly it's a lot of that type of energy right now. Like, there's a lot of that type of energy where something that was taking a lot of work is now very smooth. It's back to normal, and suddenly the amount of force that you learn to navigate with during the Jupiter retrograde is too much. So I keep on hearing apply force intentionally. Okay, like be intentional with your force. Okay, like, and especially as it relates to navigating frustration. Continuing to get clarification between our 6 of of like 6 of Pentacles in its reversal, and our Justice card in its reversal. Can I get one card to clarify, please? Clarification coming through right now with our 9, like our 9 of Wands in its upright. So, and a lot of like, and this is having a lot to do. I'm just going to tell you right now. I'm going to keep saying this. Okay? The thing we have to be conscientious about right now is it is the combination of the Venus in retrograde starting on top of the Mars retrograde, right? So you're not feeling great about the self, right? The Venus in retrograde that wants to go like, you suck. like, you know, the Venus in retrograde that goes like, and then the Mars retrograde, not having confidence in the self, right? Like, so you got these here, right? It's like, I just want to dig in the dirt. And then we've got the Leo full moon, which is like very much about like the journey of the self. So love yourself. And I mean this like love yourself proportionate and compassionately. But don't come into that space. Like when I say love yourself, don't let it come into a space of woe is me. Right? Because and this is the indulgence of some of this full moon energy that we're going to have to navigate. Loving ourselves isn't woe is me, right? Because like often when we come in that space, when we feel sorry, like it feels good to feel sorry for ourselves, right? We just got to, like I told you, you know, it's like, it's a lot of that, like, you know, like it could be I would not be surprised if there isn't a lot of hyperbole that starts coming through right now, especially for those that might not necessarily be in a space of recognizing the energy around them, right? Like, this is the worst. Like, I am the worst. This is the worst. Handle things, like work on keeping perspective is what I'm seeing right now, because it's just, there's a lot of gravitas as it relates to working through some of these lessons. Right. And again, that's why I keep on saying this energy could be absolutely beautiful in that space. Like there's going to be profound, I'm going to tell you, there's going to be profound healing happening during this full moon. I see a lot of heartfelt conversations. I see a lot of openness. I see a lot of apologies potentially happening. But that same energy, if we're not navigating it correctly, can create a self-indulgence point on feeling sorry for the self. So make sure that you're not projecting in. You can project inwards too, right? You can project inwards too. So make sure that you're not overly projecting inwards as well. Continuing to get clarification between our Justice card in its reversal in combination with our Queen of Wands in its upright. One card to clarify, please. Clarification coming through right now. That you gotta be courageous as you navigate this type of energy. Remember, what is a lesson that we've been going throughout these cycles with the Mars in retrograde? Courage and confidence are not the same thing. They're cousins, right? They look a lot alike, but often confidence is confused for someone being courageous. We see someone confident being like, look how courageous it is. That's not courageous. If you're confident in something, you don't need courage. Having courage usually feels like you're scared. You're terrified, right? You do it anyway. That is the vibration of courage, right? It is when you are shaking in your boots, but you move forward anyway, right? Remembering and recognizing, I keep on seeing that some of this work that we navigate right now, when there's no confidence right now, because Mars is in retrograde. Mars went on a little vacation and he accidentally took the whole box of confidence with him when he left. Okay. So what do we do when Mars is away and he's taken all the confidence away? And it's not that the confidence is low or high. It's like hope, dread. Courage is what we set our intention to. And we say, I'm moving in that direction, even if it scares me, right? Because that is the direction I know is for me. So allow that intention to guide you if you're feeling those moments that you're like navigating trepidation. Compassion and courage are like Like that's good. Like I'm telling you right now, that's like the work right now that we're experiencing with this like Leo full moon. Compassion and courage, right? Compassion and courage. Continuing to get clarification between our Queen of Wands in its upright and our Four of Wands in its upright. I like these two cards together. Two of Cups in its reversal, right? I keep on hearing, and this is how Scorpio, where Scorpio is right now, is helping the energy in separation. I know you're holding on to something, but was it ideal? Right? This is what I keep on hearing. Like, I see energy in separation, having a conversation with their higher self, holding on to something. The higher self's going, anytime you're ready. And then I just see Scorpio like nudging in, like scoot, 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 scoot. I need to ask you about like, like being like, are you holding on to it because it was ideal? Or are you holding on to it because it never met the ideals that you desired of it? Because those are different things. And it's not, I'm going to tell you right now, there's a lot, like there's some moments that I see, there are segmentation moments that I often experience or recognize that happen in separation, because something about that question is helping energy right now understand what their coordinates are, understanding where their higher self is guiding them, right? Like that conscientious point of looking at something from the past and saying to oneself, was that perfect? Or are you holding on to something because it never became what you hoped that it would? Because if it wasn't perfect, then what makes you think that that is your manifestation, right? Like what, like that's the energy that says, like that's, I can almost hear the higher self saying, walk me through it. Why are you insisting upon that? Because something about that conversation is informing the self as to what the significator is as it relates to what one is seeking in a manifestation, right? Well, for a lot of this energy right now, this is why I keep seeing that for a lot of that energy and separation, I mean, coming into divine union, this is the energy that goes, oh, I can see it now. Like the ability to recognize what was missing. We often do not understand it until we find what we are looking for, right? Like, I'll just put it that way. Like, that is the download that's coming through for the energy coming into divine union. The understanding of what was wrong or what was missing is often only identified in the journey of finding what we're looking for. And suddenly we go, oh, that makes sense, right? So I just see a lot of that energy holding themselves with compassion and charity as they recognize those moments. While for a lot of this energy right now, deep within divine union, a lot of this work right now, it's not ideal, right? It never is. Like, and that's why I keep on seeing that energy says to one another, it's not a race. It's not a race. It's a marathon, right? Don't push hard. Be energetically consistent with yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself on that journey, because that feeling, it can always be better. It can always be worse. We do what we can, right? Like we say to the universe in the process, help me see the rest, right? Like making sure that I'm also making sure that you're giving yourself rest. Take lots. This type of energy requires a lot of breaks. I'm just going to tell you right now. Like there's a lot, and if you're getting frustrated, I want you to take more breaks, because it has to do with the fact that Uranus is in Taurus. It's you're more easily frustrated, right? It's like you're like, if you're feeling that, like take more breaks. Like give yourself a minute, right? Don't project. Be intentional. Continuing to get clarification here between our Nine of Wands in combination with our Page of Swords and its upright. Clarification coming through right now with High Priestess energy in its upright. I am not surprised to see this right now, because I keep seeing the fact that I keep getting the message that for a lot of the energy in separation right now is in Virgo. A lot of the energy in separation right now is in Virgo. And a reason, and this is why the energy isn't in separation, is in Virgo, because they're holding themselves preciously, right? And so I keep on seeing that this is a lot of energy. I'm going to tell you right now, we sometimes hit those moments. I feel like there's a lot of energy in separation right now. When we hold ourselves, it's harder to build connections when we hold ourselves preciously, right? Like I keep on hearing that this is the energy that looks at the self and goes, precious cargo, right? There's like precious cargo, this precious cargo. Like this is the energy that says, I don't want, what is the energy? Why does the energy say precious cargo? Because they don't want to lose progress. They've come so far. I can hear this energy go, it's taken me so long to come to this place of appreciating myself. I don't want to lose that. And I keep on hearing the higher self going, you couldn't if you wanted to. Like the higher self is saying to the energy in separation. I mean, they're not saying there's like, you couldn't if you tried, literally. Like this is what we call like a good manifestation gives you the ick. Okay. Like a good manifestation gives you the ick because this is the energy goes that you couldn't if you tried, because you recognize the fact that like, this is I just need to point this out because there's some energy right now that I'm telling you, the manifestation that they want is right around the corner. But they're holding themselves so preciously that they say, I don't want to corrupt my progress by moving towards the wrong person. I keep on hearing the energy saying, you couldn't if you tried. Your picker is working. Your picker is picking. You're picking yourself. Like you're picking yourself right now. You're saying to yourself, better alone than with the wrong person. Like this is the energy being like, unfortunately, you've moved into the place of your manifestation where your picker's working just fine, but you have to allow the ability to move forward. Like you have to allow the articulation of choice that sometimes creates that moment that we're working in that context. Like, do you see this right now? That this is the energy saying this is the energy in separation that says the only thing they have to fear is fear itself. Because this is the energy saying that the anxiety of losing progress is potentially standing in the way of the energy moving into alignment with their person. Masculine and feminine, this is very much the similar energy here. So there's a lot of Libra energy here and Virgo. So there's like, again, like Virgo Libra is like really like, it's like hard because it's like you know what I mean? Like it's a little bit of this working in that context of having to like push through one's own anxiety, right? Like, and that's not being reckless, right? It's being intentional through energetic fear. While masculine and feminine energy that is coming into divine union. I just keep on seeing that for a lot of this energy coming into divine union right now. This is why I keep on seeing that this energy is finding Aries in the past, because they're moving into that space, coming into divine union, and they're looking at the past version of self, both holding like as inner child healing, because they're going, look at them go, God bless them, but also, oh my gosh, they were reckless, right? Because this is the energy, that says they were reckless, because this is the energy that when we are trying something and we don't know what we're doing, we're often more reckless because we don't understand something. So it's like a lot of that energy. Like I couldn't do that again. While for masculine and feminine energy that is deep within divine union, this is why what the counterparts say. Like, you are not a mess. You are a work in progress. And to me, you are precious, right? Because it doesn't require us to be perfect. The act of becoming is what is precious in those that we love, right? Think about anyone you love. Are they perfect? You do not need to be perfect to be worthy of love. Being worthy of love is not an act of perfection. It is an act of seeing another's journey to become perfect as precious. Continuing to get clarification between our Page of Swords in combination with our Two of Cups in its reversal. Can I get one card to clarify, please? Clarification coming through right now with our King of Cups in its reversal. Whew, look at these two together, man. And this is why, like I'm going to tell you right now, if you're in divine union right now and you feel like a little energetically isolated from the counterpart, I just want to show you the vibe check between where masculine and feminine is right now, okay? Look at this. Feminine, very focused, very intentional, working on something, very studious. Masculine, coming into a space of authenticity, expansive, right? Trying to learn to do new things in different ways, trying to accept the self in the process. This is how these energies are working on those lessons right now. But even in that space, it's bringing out different qualities and characteristics in the counterparts. So for and it's interesting too, because I see a lot, I see a lot of like I told you, feminine energy right now is working through a lot of this feeling by trying to become more definitive, right? Masculine is trying to defy definition, right? So this is beautiful because we see even now they're working on the same lesson, the Aries energy that they're finding in different ways. While for masculine and feminine energy right now coming into divine union, this is a lot of the energy that recognizes that this is the gravitas of the lesson. You can't force a connection. You can't force a connection. It's there or it's not, right? We have to push ourselves out of our comfort zones, but you can't force a connection. And this is why this is a lot of the energy that's actively going through inner child healing as they come into divine union, because they're looking back at experiences and saying, I was forcing it. I was going through something that was difficult because I was insisting instead of finding. And when we insist, what does the universe say? If you insist, right? While for masculine and feminine energy right now, in separation, for a lot of this energy that's in separation, this is this is, and I'm going to tell you right now, I see this energy that keeps having active conversations with the higher self. And I keep hearing them say, I want to be you so badly. And I keep on hearing the energy of the higher self that's saying, you already are. Like I can almost hear this energy saying, you can hear, like the fact that you can hear me is the fact that you are already embracing this. Like this is the energy that's already, and this is the energy saying, I'm afraid of, this is, I need to point out, this is a healthy manifestation, right? This is an energy that's already entered their manifestation space because they're saying, I'm afraid of losing my progress. I'm afraid of entering the wrong connection. I'm afraid of losing how far I've come. And this is why the higher self says, baby, you couldn't now if you wanted to, right? Because you can identify and you can recognize you are in that space that you're holding yourself sacredly, right? Like that in itself is like, that is what that energetic protection feels like, right? Because a good manifestation also creates the things within us to protect us as we move towards it, right? So this is the energy saying, like those things that you hold, right? Those things that you're holding on to, you don't need to let go of them, because those are going to become the very things that are going to protect you from ever experiencing those pains again. We never let go of them because those are the things that protect us on our journey, right? Those wounds, like those wounds that become like, when this is how the light gets in. It's the wound that shines a light in terms of what is for us. Final card for today's spread, between our High Priestess in combination with our King of Cups in its reversal. We've got here the Magician in its reversal. It's got to hurt to heal. I know it's hard. It's difficult, right? The heart that breaks is a heart that expands, is a heart that continues forward on its journey. And that I keep on seeing that a lot of this energy working in that space, identifying and saying, I don't need to let something go. I need to hold the pathwork sacredly, right? this is what brings a lot of that healing. And that doesn't mean that that we don't hold on to it and say, "I'll never let go of this." Like we don't do that. We don't do that, right? We honor how we feel, right? We say that this is painful. This was something that formed pain in me, but it also taught me something, and I'll hold on to that and I'll carry that forward. So in those spaces, we come into that understanding. And that's why I keep on hearing that that's the energy that says I feel like this is the energy that's ready for their manifestation, because they're not saying I want it. They're saying I'm afraid, right? And I'm like, we come towards our manifestation. We come towards our manifestation. And this is what we talk about when we say we come towards our manifestation humble, right? We come towards our manifestation with humility, because we say, I am afraid. And that is the fear that guides us towards what is for us, right? Because we embrace that. We embrace the fact that we are afraid because we are sacred. And we're honoring ourselves in the process, right? So this is what I told you about the healthy shadow work of meeting our fear and embracing it by saying, I love you because I know that you're trying to protect me, right? I know that I don't follow you full tilt. I don't chase after you. I recognize that there is the healthy fear that rises up when we're moving towards our manifestations, because that is that space that we ask what the fear is afraid of. And it helps us understand if we have to face it or if we need to walk away from something. While for masculine and feminine energy coming into divine union, I just keep on seeing that for a lot of that energy coming into divine union, working on and facilitating through that path work, this is the energy that's like, I keep on hearing that this is the energy where it's like the wounds, like the wounds, I'll put it this way, the sacred wounds have become itchy. Okay. And I know that sounds a little funny, but let me explain. Because when we look at something and we say, why am I carrying this? Like, why was this so, like, what was I trying to seek? And then we find it, then we sometimes start feeling cringy towards it because we look about how hard we are insisting on places that it wasn't, right? So often the sacred wounds we carry, they become like they become cringe, right? But we also hold space for them because we're like, I understand now. I could not have understood then. And it's almost like I keep on hearing like the sacred wounds start to itch. The itch is the Aries energy, because it's the energy going, ooh, I can see. I yes, okay, now I can see. It's clear there, right? It's not. Oh man, like it's like a lot of that. Like that is the itch of the sacred wound of being like, I understand now. Oof, right? It becomes cringy. While for masculine and feminine, deep within divine union, I keep on seeing that that feeling is the frustration point in trying to understand the self. I just keep on seeing that there's a lot of this energy right now, deep within divine union, that is literally holding themselves to different standards. And often, and that's the thing, there's something that's happened here where the energetic standards of some of the energy within divine union, and I think it has a lot to do with like Jupiter coming in, going direct. But also this is the energy that again almost looks like works in that space of saying, I want to understand and I want to break through. But this is the energy that almost says, I want to break through those parts of the self where I don't see, like this is almost again much like the energy having conversations with the higher self, but at the same time working in that context of being hard on themselves on the process. Because here's the thing, we never stop being hard on ourselves. The journey of becoming is ever reaching, never finding. And that's why we always get the message that says, be gentle on that journey. Because like that process is one, and especially with this type of energy here, it's all too easy to feel very hard on oneself as you navigate this type of energy. Bottom of the deck on today's reading, especially with this moon card in its upright, this is like it's like this is what we talk about when we're speaking towards shadow work, right? Like shadow work are those spaces or places that we confront the parts of the self that are hard to navigate. our fears, our anxieties, our doubts, our fear towards others, right? Often energy like this stuff comes out of the woodwork, like we often have these moments, right? And this is why we talk about the fact that when we're navigating from a place of fear, like what do we do when we're doing healthy shadow work, right? Do we run after our fearful tilt? No, right? Like that's wild. We won't do that. We come into that space of being able to embrace our fear is like, again, I'm gonna mention again, it's like the little child, with the creepy picture, right? Like the little creepy child that tugs on you and you look and you go, oh my God, what are you doing here? And it's like, I made you something. And you're like, what did you make me, buddy? And you're like, I made you this. And they hold it up and you go, wow, you made that all by yourself, huh? Wow. What? Okay. Wow. Okay. So that's wild. We're going to put this over here. Okay. Right. And then sometimes, like, we're going to put it in the special gallery. Like, that's okay. Right. And sometimes, right, we get that little tug and the little child goes, I made you something. And you go, okay. Oh, you're back. Okay. Good. What'd you make now? And they show you something. You go, oh, okay. That's a note. That is a concern. There's a concern there. We can do something about that. We can do something about that right now. You're not going to have to worry about that anymore. Thank you for that concern, right? So that ability of like navigating forward in that way, right? That ability of recognizing and identifying. We work in that context of being gentle with ourselves and gentle with others as they navigate those points in the journey. And that's why I keep on seeing, there's so much, the thing about, like, there's so much of this energy that may come up right now with the combination force. I'm just going to keep saying this, between the Mars retrograde in combination with the Venus in retrograde, in combination with the Leo full moon. I want you to remember, don't be hard on yourself. You are never late for your lessons. You are always on time. If you are holding regret, regret is the gift of a heart that is learning. Okay? Remember that. Regret is a gift of a heart that is learning. We don't come into that space, like when we're working in that space, like we often experience a lot of those feelings, right? And remember, you aren't like, these are the two things that you have to say to yourself as we navigate some of the energy of this full moon, which is regret is the gift of a heart that is learning. And on top of that, remember that you are not a mess. You are a work in progress, right? And that is that ability of doing so, being energetically intentional. If someone, and again, like, working in the space of not being hard on yourself, but blessing that journey. Like this can be a beautiful moment right now of profound healing conversations, working in that space of authenticity, working in that space of intimacy, right? Because I just keep on seeing that there's a lot of this like love coming through on this. But a lot of that same work is very much amplified with often being too hard on ourselves. So be gentle with yourself and be gentle with those around you. That is our daily collective read for today. I want to thank you so much for being here and receiving these messages. Just a reminder, if you would like to book a private reading with me, you can do so on my website. Please keep in mind, if you book a private reading on my website, it is a 2-step process. You have to book the reading and pay for the reading. Please make sure you do both if you'd like to have that reading. Most importantly, please remember that I will never, ever, 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 ever reach out to you for a private reading. I will never DM you. I will never PM you. I will never slide into your inbox and tell you that I have a very important message that only I can deliver. The only way you can book a reading with me is if you book one on my website. Also, a couple of updates before we move into personal readings today. First and foremost, thank you to everyone who attended our recent class on the Hermit card. Our next class will be held on Wednesday, February 19th at 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. Eastern. We will be continuing our studies into the tarot with a focus on the Wheel of Fortune. I am so excited to teach this class. It is a fascinating card. It might be 2 parts. I'm still working on it. We're going to talk about the symbology of the card, the history of the card. I'm going to walk you through spread applications, how to read that card in any position it may appear in your spreads. I'm also going to be offering you a unique spread to help you channel the messages of the Wheel of Fortune into your readings. And all you need to do if you'd like to become a part of that tarot class program is become a paid subscriber to my Substack. Your paid subscription to my Substack is your ticket of entry into our live classes each and every month. You will also receive access to over 9 hours worth of material in the Tarot Church Library. Now, it's not necessary to catch up for each class. I will be doing my best to update you on everything that we have studied thus far, but the material is there for you to receive when you're ready to receive it. You will also have access to a one-on-one chat with me and the other students to ask any questions that you may have in relation to anything that we've studied thus far. And if you become a founding member to my Substack, not only will you receive a discount on the full year's worth of classes, but you will also receive a complimentary one-on-one mentorship class with me, wherein I will assess where you are on your personal tarot journey and give you the best insights in terms of how to utilize those classes to the best of your benefit towards your personal tarot goals for moving forward. One of the things I tried to do in these classes was make them accessible to the absolute novice tarot reader as well as the seasoned reader. There's absolutely something there for everyone. So I want to thank you if you're already joining us there, and I look forward to potential videos, or if you are a subscriber on the Clock app, I would encourage you to head over to our subscriber only Discord channel that is available to you as a subscriber. There you will find a special coupon code that will give you an additional discount to that Substack subscription. Even if you don't become a paid subscriber to my Substack, I would encourage you to follow me there and across the other social channels to be able to stay up to date on any new offerings and services. I post my weekly newsletter there that will let you know about my in-person events as well as my online live schedule. Finally, I want to let you guys know that on top of my standard life path readings, I also offer mentorship classes. These are for any of my clients that are seeking more consistent personal education from me. I take a very limited number of students for this reason, as those classes are focused on each individual's personal growth and spiritual journey. Those classes can be purchased on an individual level or as a monthly class series, weekly or bi-weekly as your schedule permits. Also, for my clients that are seeking more consistent weekly tarot support, I'm very happy to offer weekly tarot insight packages. That is a package of 4 30-minute readings, again, weekly or bi-weekly as your schedule permits, so that you can stay more consistent on your personal journey. I'm also now offering dream interpretation readings. You can purchase them on an individual level or as a package. If you purchase the dream interpretation reading package, I ask that you make sure that you start to keep a dream journal, as we will meet weekly and bi-weekly or bi-weekly to study the dreams that have been coming through, and then utilizing the tarot to understand the key lessons and messages coming through the dream space. I want to thank you guys so much for being here today and sharing in these messages, and we will do this again tomorrow.